Hamlet by William Shakespeare. Act 3, Scene 1. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and, by opposing, end them. To die, to sleep no more, and by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death what dreams may come, when we have shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin? Who would far else bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. Thus conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is displayed o'er the pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pitch and movement, with this regard to their currents turn awry, and lose the name of action. Soft you now, the fair Ophelia, nymph, in thy orisons, be all my sins remembered. Act 2, Scene 2. Now I am alone. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I! Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so as to his own conceit that from her working all his visage waned, tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, a broken voice, and his whole function suiting with forms to his conceit, and all for nothing. For Hecuba! What's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do, had he the motive and the cure for passion that I have? He would drown the stage with tears, and cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty and appall the free, confound the ignorant and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and muddy-mettled rascal, peak like John a Dreams, unpregnant of my cause, and can say nothing. No, not for a king, upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain, breaks my pate across, plucks off my beard and blows it in my face, tweaks me by the nose, gives me the lie in the throat as deep as to the lungs? Who does me this? Ha! Swans, I should take it, for that cannot be. But I am pigeon-livered and lack gall to make oppression bitter, or ere this I should have fatted all the region kites with this slave so foul. Bloody body villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain. O vengeance! Why, what an ass I am! This is most brave, that I, the son of a dear father murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must, like a whore, unpack my heart with words and fall cursing like a very drab, a stallion. Fie upon't! Foh! About my brains! I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have, by the very cunning of the scene, been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions, for murder, though it have no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ, I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before my uncle. I'll observe his looks. I'll tempt him to the quick. If he do plunge, I know my course. The spirit that I have seen may be a devil, and the devil have power to assume a pleasing shape. Yea, and perhaps, out of my weakness and my melancholy, as he is very potent with such spirits, abuses to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king. Act 4, Scene 4. How all occasions do inform against me, and spur my dull revenge. What is a man of his chief good and market of his time, be but to sleep and feed, a beast, no more. Sure he that made us with such large discourse, looking before and after us, gave us not that capability and godlike reason diffused in us unused. Now, whatever it be, bestial oblivion or some craven scruple of thinking too precisely on the event, a thought which, quartered, hath but 1 part wisdom and ever 3 parts coward, I do not know. Yet I live to say this thing is to do, sith I have cause, and will, and strength, and means to do it. Examples growth as earth exhort me. Witness this army of such mass and charge, led by a delicate and tender prince, whose spirit with divine ambition puffed makes mouths at the invisible event, exposing what is mortal and unsure to all that fortune, death, and danger dare, even for an eggshell. Rightly to be great is not to stir without great argument, but greatly to find quarrel in a straw when honour's at the stake. How stand I then, that have a father killed, a mother stained, excitements of my reason and my blood, and let all sleep, while to my shame I see the imminent death of 20,000 men, that for a fantasy and trick of fame go to their graves like beds, fight for a plot whereon the numbers cannot try the cause, which is not tomb enough and continent to hide the slain. Oh, from this time forth my thoughts be bloody, or be nothing worth.